Welcome, true believers, to another episode of Nerd Variety Podcast, or another episode because, it won't be new for long.
Doesn't Stanley kind of own the whole True Believers thing?
Yes, he does, but I thought
his estate.
Hopefully we won't get sued for that.
Yeah, well, I think they're not allowed to sue us unless we get paid for this.
Exactly.
So,
but Hayden's got it though if we do.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Don't worry about it.
What is this?
But yes, welcome to another episode of Nerd Variety Podcast. I'm Josh, and at this time, I'm joined by the other nerds. We have Hannah Hellcat Hogan.
I find this to be acceptable.
I dig it.
Cool. And the one that just spoke, that digs it, is our other host, Hayden Red Wing Rafferty.
Red Wing. I'm wearing a red shirt. Is that it? Is it because it's red?
No, because the obvious wings on your back. We talked about this. You have to,
I'm wearing a Pikachu shirt,
which does not fit the theme of our episode today.
Well,
no.
But it is
Red Bull gives you wings, though. That's where it's coming from, right?
Yes. This episode not sponsored by Red Bull.
Not sponsored by anything, but if anyone wants to sponsor us, we'll accept.
Yes, we'll even do the ad. You won't have to have any of your people do the ad. We'll do the ad for you.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll each do an ad if you give us money.
We'll all do an ad together.
It's 3 ads for the price of 1.
We'll make
Nintendo, give us free stuff.
Yes, please. This week, we are reviewing the most recent entries into the MCU. At the time of this recording, it is the first week of May. Marvel Studios had planned to release Black Widow this past weekend, like they had planned to do last year, but COVID was in full force last year, and it's still kind of looming over everyone right now. But they pushed it back to July.
Yep. So we'll finally see it in 2 to 3 years, hopefully.
Well, that's what I was gonna. That's what I was gonna say. I just watched the release of Phase 4, the video. Here's Phase 4. Woo, get excited! Yeah. And I'm like, interesting that they're planning things 2 years out now.
2 years out. I was thinking.
Yeah, because they had dates from 2023, and I'm like, woo. Yeah. All right, we'll see how well they can keep that schedule this go around.
Yeah,
but they always put out stuff like that, and I feel like they always get pushed back. Maybe not.
Yeah, they're gonna get pushed back. They're trying to release 5 movies next year.
Is it 5 next year?
Yeah, and 4 in this next for the next half of this year.
I wouldn't put it past them because they have been working on a lot of them for a long time now.
Yeah.
And in the past, they have done 3 or 4 releases in a year. So to say that they're going to do 5 when some of them are probably already mostly or at least partially made seems reasonable for Marvel.
Yeah. Depends on how safe everything is with COVID,
right.
Or when they started filming, and then during where they were last year, and then what all they've been able to do now, or how much freedom they have now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thankfully, WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier were available to stream, and I don't know about y'all, but they were awesome.
I thoroughly enjoyed both of them. Yes.
It was nice to get a taste of something MCU related after a year and a half of nothing.
Yeah. Well, and I particularly enjoyed them because I feel like both of them focused on characters we don't get a whole lot of story from.
Mm-hmm.
They're not tiny characters, right? Bucky is certainly has a whole movie kind of based around him, right?
Yeah.
But it was nice to sort of get more content from them, and rather than just the big boys. Of course, one of them I guess technically is now a big boy, big head boy. Yeah.
Speaking of big head boy, have you guys seen the trailer for MODOK?
I knew that's where that was going.
No, I haven't.
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think. I don't know. I don't believe it's actually a Disney show. I think it's Adult Swim, but. Be interesting. Sorry, just random thought. Just another trailer I recently saw.
Yeah, I got you. I always forget about MODOK. I know they're talking about doing something with him in the movies, or there was some speculation about that, but so far we haven't seen anything. But an anime show will be fun because he's he'll be kind of hard to execute, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, so WandaVision and Falcon the Winter Soldier take place right after Endgame ends. So the year is 2023. Everyone has just come back after being snapped away, and the world is in, chaos-ish. But somehow everyone's really happy and everyone's just trying to get things back to normal as best they can. What are some things that y'all noticed, picked up on from watching the shows about this new world or this post-snap world?
I feel like the idea of that, everyone's happy and trying to get back to normal is kind of what they want you to believe.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I feel like what I picked up on, which is like everyone does want things to be, I don't know, I won't even say everyone wants things to be back to normal, right? Because the whole thing with the Falcon Winter Soldier is, what's her name? Carly?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Her goal is to kind of keep it the way it was during the blip, right? So it's not really that we're trying to go back to the way the world was before, but like people kind of have disagreements about what the state of the world should be now that everyone's back. That's kind of the main driving force behind her and her team. Yeah,
I like that they addressed that.
Yeah,
they had a kind of a real situation of like, we had all the borders were kind of relaxed because there was half the
nobody
population
here.
was gone.
Yeah.
And everything was kind of chaotic, but we had more space, so people can kind of
right. Well, I think it's interesting.
Do a little more what they wanted to.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that they don't really talk about whether, I don't feel like they talked that much about whether it actually is better to have the borders and to have people separated into their own countries, or to have sort of this unified global people, right? But I think what they mostly talk about is the way that they're trying to go about putting people back where they belong, quote unquote belong, right? Is just like a really long, complicated process, and people are suffering in the meantime because they're not getting the food or whatever that they need, right? And so it's less about really where should people go and how should we approach this new society. It's more of like, in the right here and now, we gotta like feed people, and like the government's not doing as good of a job of taking care of everybody as it could be, which I think is kind of the bigger issue, actually.
And I mean, I think to go from that, it is to say that that's really setting the groundwork, it feels like, for what they're going to do going forward, and how it's really going to affect, the rest of any major event that comes in the following movies. It's going to be centered around, what can we do to make this better? What can we do to make it so that, because people are starting to see that, or starting to believe that Thanos was very much justified and did the best thing for everybody. And it's going to be a big thing about like, well, that's, that's not justified. We can't have that again because it killed half the people in the universe. It's, so I think it's just going to be people trying to figure out how to do better and just find what they can do to do.
It's funny to me because like when Thanos was first introduced and his ideology was first introduced, I immediately was like, I get where he's coming from though. Like I get it. Like I get it, we're having troubles with overpopulation and pollution and food shortages, and like all of those things could be remedied by like getting rid of people. Yeah. But we just can't do that.
Yeah. You can't just
it's not just about
kill people.
It's not about getting rid of half the people. It's about doing better for the amount of people that we have.
Right. But I think it's interesting that now people are kind of also like, I mean, I get like there were things that were better about not having as many people. Right.
Yeah. One thing I thought was interesting was actually seeing, the aftermath, because it was this, amazing, experience seeing all the heroes come back in Endgame. But then like, Far From Home brought up that, I had been dead for 5 years and now new people are living in my house.
Mm-hmm.
There was also the thing of Monica Rambeau, and you see her in WandaVision. You actually see her come back to life, or come back together, and everyone else is popping in and out of the hospital, and they're all coming back. They're all coming back. Oh crap! I wasn't ready for this. And
Right.
everybody having to come to terms with, oh, this is what the world is like. This is what happened to me.
Right.
This is what the world is like after I've been gone.
Yeah.
And you have characters that are 5 years younger than
Mhm.
everyone that was left behind. So yeah, it's pretty heavy stuff, but just I guess they're giving us little bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
How many people do you think still ended up dying in that time between, well, in the fight, the time between everyone being snapped back and Thanos' army being snapped away again?
I would say several million, if anything.
So, it sort of makes up for Wakanda, at least, probably, because that was probably mostly their army. As well as
I was thinking
a
of
lot of
I was thinking of more like the whole world. Like, I'm sure those 5 years were very chaotic, especially in the beginning, because everyone's assuming, it's like questioning who did this.
Oh, well, yeah, too.
Yeah, and just the conflict that comes with
Well, yeah, again, I wasn't talking about the 5 years.
You're talking about from when people came back.
Yeah, because everyone was snapped back, and then immediately Thanos' army came back from the past, and they had the big fight. So a bunch of people died then too, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's
how much would that suck to be snapped out of existence, snapped back in 5 years later, and you die immediately?
Do we know if when people are snapped back, are they in the exact same place that they were when they left?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the understanding?
Yeah,
Monica was at her mom's bedside.
Yeah.
In WandaVision. And of course, all the heroes were where they got snapped away.
Right.
But I'm sure Hulk was able to, when he had the gauntlet, he was able to figure out, okay, I can't just put everybody back. If someone was in a plane flying over the ocean,
right? That's what I'm wondering about.
I can't put them in that same. If they show up in the plane and in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, they'll
there's not a plane there anymore.
No.
It just fall.
Josh,
yes.
Actually, I just want to. For some reason, that immediately makes me think of the Get Swifty episode of Rick and Morty. When they're teleporting, Rick's just like, by the way, probably a bad time to bring this up. Any astronauts you had in orbit are definitely dead.
Yeah. They're all dead. So there's, in these new shows, they bring up a little more lore, more about super soldiers, more about the magical history. And if you guys, also listeners, if you didn't know, this is a spoiler-filled discussion of WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Great time to throw that in there.
Yeah. I meant to do that earlier. It's okay though. It'll be in the description. But they go about talking about the magical history, because as we learned, Wanda actually has magic, and that they add more comic lore into it with that, and with going about with there being other super soldiers now. Yeah. How'd y'all like Agnes? And
I was very caught off guard.
Yeah.
Initially. Really? Yeah, well, because I know nothing about the comics, right? So I had no reference, and I was just like, oh, okay. I thought you were just the weird neighbor, but all right.
Yeah. Never thought you would actually be involved in.
Yeah, I feel like they did a really good job of making her seem completely just nobody. Yeah. Right? A completely unimportant character.
I just keep thinking of the did you guys watch the pitch meeting?
No.
Do you watch those at all?
No.
The pitch meetings?
Yeah.
From where?
I think it's Screen Rant.
Oh no.
They're pretty funny. But in the one for WandaVision, it's one guy doing two characters. He's the person pitching the idea, and then the guy that's listening to the pitch, the producer, I guess. And so like the writers pitching the idea. It's like, okay, and we're gonna introduce this character Agnes, and she's gonna be like kind of mysterious and stuff. And you see the producer, like get on his phone, and just looks like, what are you doing? It's like, it's Agatha. So is it Agatha Harkness? It's like, no. It's like, yeah, it's definitely her. And they get to the room.
I didn't know.
And then he's just like, okay, I'm gonna make you pay for that. And then they get to the part with Pietro, and it's like, yeah, he actually isn't. That's not actually a connection there. And so, what?
Yeah,
I told you.
I freaked out when I saw him in the episode. I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. They're bridging like X-Men from Fox into MCU. It's happening. Everybody stay calm. But that didn't happen.
No,
I was mostly confused. I was like, wait, that's not the right one. I was just like, that's not what's happening.
Which was
and so like the whole thing with him, the whole thing with him not being in on it exactly, but like kind of being, part of the scheme was like, oh, okay. That was on purpose. Like, oof. No, but I'm trying to remember, like, I'm just trying to remember how much like magic has really played into things.
There wasn't a little, but, and I guess it depends on what.
Right, and so I feel like my reaction when I was like, oh, these are like witches with magic.
Yeah.
I was like, that. I mean, it seems different. Like we have sort of things with the Infinity Stones, and they're like kind of magic.
But I mean, you also have like, unless I'm forgetting something, it's basically limited to Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
that's right. Doctor Strange and some other like TV shows kind of brought up magic here and there and like chi and whatnot.
But it seems like something we've kind of glossed over and been like, oh yeah, like there's a little bit of like magic, and now it's like, oh no, there's magic. Magic, like it's for real. Yeah,
I mean, again, the only other thing I was kind of thinking of, which like it really isn't magic, although is thinking of, well, there's the crap Guardians of the Galaxy 2 Ego. There was that, which again kind of magic, I guess, but not necessarily the same. And then I keep thinking of Iron Man 3, even though like it wasn't magic really, but it kind of felt like magic sort of.
Magic where? In Iron Man 3,
like the whole fire thing, the whole lava people.
That was technology.
Yeah, it was technology. Okay, but they were like molten lava people. So,
well, I think that's
kind of magic, and we call it science.
I think that's kind of the point, though. It's like
that, there is also, you know what? That's another good one. Obviously, it's been there since Thor.
But there it was more
Thor
of like
just magic.
There it was more of like you couldn't really
especially
call it magic
Loki.
because they tried to push it away from being called magic. It was just their
except for Loki,
physics and stuff.
They pretty much called it magic for Loki.
Yeah.
Regardless, my point is, I feel like they've kind of danced around the subject. It's been like hinted at, or there's a bit here, or a bit there. But I feel like this is the first time it was like slappy in the face magic.
Yeah.
Witches, witchcraft.
They're magic. They're like, this is my spell book, and you're like, okay.
And the runes and everything.
Yeah.
Well, we have seen the Darkhold before in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but and
does Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really count though?
It's probably it's an alternate timeline for sure. Yeah.
I'm excited to see how they explore magic. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
And then kind of the Dark Elves. Sorry, I'm gonna just keep thinking of things.
Well, that's the thing. That's exactly the thing, though. Is it's all just kind of thrown in there, like it's just a little bit, like a little sprinkling of magic.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they ever really called it magic.
And
they avoided it. They really did.
I'm sorry. I do kind of feel like at least some of the uses. Again, this is also, like sort of Black Panther, like the herb and everything. It kind of feels like magic-y.
Yeah, there's some unclassified mystical stuff going on there.
Mysticism.
Not
Kind of
mystical.
yeah.
And then of course
Spirits.
Mysterio.
No, he was
Very
not. He was
magical.
all lies. Yeah. But we all had expectations for, like the X-Men connection. Like everyone was saying Mephisto was going to be a big villain or a big part of it.
Mephisto. I was convinced that Mephisto was not going to show up at all. I was like,
I definitely know who that is.
I'm like, I'm pretty sure there's no reason to include him here. Like they already had Agatha, they already had the focus on Wanda and what's his face, the other guy who is kind
Vision.
of also the villain, not villain, the shield guy, or sorry, the sword guy.
Yeah, sword. Yeah,
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, which he wasn't. He was a jerk for sure.
But he was kind of a villain, right?
He was kind of set up as a villain or the aggressor. But Wanda herself was essentially it was like a three-way tie between her, Agatha, and the sword guy. Yeah. Because of how they all kind of bounced off each other based off trying to do what they wanted to do with the events that were unfolding.
I would say of the three though, Wanda was the only one who didn't have negative intentions. Like she really wasn't trying to hurt anyone, and she didn't want to be a villain. Except kind of later, she was like, "Screw off! Like I'm doing my thing."
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with this. I don't care anymore.
Like there were definitely points where she was like, "Oh, wait, this person's starting to regain free will. Let me change that."
Yeah, for sure. She kind of sunk into madness a little bit near the end, but at the beginning, I think she was fully convinced that she wasn't hurting anyone.
Right, or she was just that enamored
lying
with
to herself.
I was gonna say
this new reality or this setting that she was in.
Yeah, she was willing to not think about it.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely not going to say that she had pure intentions.
Yeah.
Good intentions. She definitely had self-serving intentions, but I don't think that she really meant, at the beginning at least, meant to hurt anyone.
I really want to see what's going to happen with Vision now.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping that they would do that. Have they showed White Vision at the next to last episode, and then they had Wanda's Vision and Reborn Vision have a talk, which was pretty cool, and have White Vision has all of Vision's memories now, so he's out there somewhere, but we may be a while before we see him again.
Yeah. Probably.
Also, call back to they actually snuck in some other. I guess with these shows, they're able to, go back into time and actually add some stuff in, like with Wanda, her experience with the Mind Stone and what happened during her experiments, and then with like when she was a kid, even further back, showing that she probably did some kind of little magic to hex the little explosive that they almost killed her and her brother, which was pretty cool how they were able to add stuff like that in there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I really like that they really expanded on her backstory. I feel like that was good.
Yeah. So we can go into some of the deep stuff with these shows, and which a lot of the MCU shows kind of have a hard time doing. But this got pretty deep with Wanda, going through the stages of grief with losing, her family, her brother, and then her Vision, and then with Falcon the Winter Soldier, because like I said before, with them adding in stuff about the history, they were able to put in Isaiah Bradley, his experience as a super soldier for however long it was, and how he was mistreated, and just bringing up some of the racial history or some racial conversations that the MCU hasn't had yet.
The scene where I was just gonna say the scene where they're leaving Isaiah's house and the police pull up to them and try and arrest Sam. I was like, dude,
They went there.
I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm like so
Yeah.
happy that they did, because like someone needed to do it, but I was just like, it hurt me physically. I was like,
are they doing this right now? Are they really doing this?
Right.
Ooh.
Like so much respect, but also like, oof.
Yeah.
It was rough.
Yeah. And then just like how Isaiah was like, this is what they did to me. They messed me up. I'm messed up. I don't, screw Captain America. Don't. And that really causes some doubts within Sam. He's like, oh wow, this isn't really, stars and stripes and everything nice.
Right. Well, and Isaiah also talked about how like he said no self-respecting black man would ever be Captain America. Is what he says basically. And then of course Sam goes ahead and does that and realizes and accepts that like he's probably gonna get a lot of hate for it for a long time. Right. But I think that the mindset is I think it kind of has to be less on like the America that we were and more on the America that we could be.
Right. Yeah. I like that. He I thought it was interesting that he never took the serum, and he was just like, you know what, I see the need for Captain America. I had doubts about taking on the mantle because of what people might say, or just thinking that I'm not supposed to do this, or it's not necessary. But then realizing that I can do this myself. I don't have to be a super soldier. I can push myself to my limits and add in, combine who I was with who the country needs, which is a new Captain America. Yeah, well, I get the feeling that he was obviously friends with Steve, but I get the feeling that he also really idolized him. Oh yeah. And so I feel like he also was just like felt like he couldn't live up to it. Right. Yeah. In a lot of ways. Yeah, he saw Cap, hang with the best of them, and but he did get to know him on a personal level, and I think Steve actually saw that, oh, this guy could actually fill in the role for me. He doesn't have the trauma that Bucky's been through or the stigma that Bucky has over him, but he would be the next person to take over once I can't do it anymore. Yeah, which makes me think of the moment that Bucky and Sam are in therapy, and Bucky says that if Steve was wrong about Sam, then he must have been wrong about Bucky. Ooh, yeah. And that scene, ooh. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting, because I feel like at that point Sam, I don't think, did believe in himself in the way that Steve did. Right. Yeah. So I also thought it was. I also touched on some more racial stuff with Sam being just kind of a regular person outside of being an Avenger, and that outside of the big superhero battles, he's just a normal guy. He has trouble getting a loan. The whole question of are the Avengers paid for yeah. Hayden, do you have any thoughts? I thought you were about to say something.
No. Okay. I'm so distracted now by Hannah's guest. By my cat. Yes. Say hello, Boomer. Say hello. Say hello. Of course, now you don't say hello.
Yeah. Do you have to meow at Boomer to
meow? Meow. Okay. All right, we're getting distracted now. That's not working.
Pets. Ugh.
You're noisy every other time other than when I want you to make noise.
Yes. But and circling back to Bucky, we actually see like more of his trauma, more of his psychological recovery,
the mental health side
all
of
the stuff that he's been through over the last 70-ish years, 70+ years of being a brainwashed super soldier.
Yeah, which seems like it was rough.
Yeah. He killed someone that didn't need to be, didn't deserve to get killed, and had to reconcile with all of that. Yeah. I'm glad that they're looking forward to they're going to continue on this story with them. What did y'all think about U.S. Agent John Walker?
Yeah, when they finally came in with that, I was like, of course they were going to have to throw it in there. That was the post-credits scene in the last episode or something? That wasn't post-credits. That was just in the episode. Yeah, because I knew they were going to, they had to call him that at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I have no expectations for it. I am curious because I guess I kind of figured, like, again, being someone who's not read the comics, right? I kind of figured that he was going to be a character that when he was released from being Captain America, right, and kind of like went a little crazy there for a bit. I kind of figured that would mostly be the end of his story, and now it definitely seems like it's not going to be, and I'm very curious to see kind of where they go with it, and because I'm like, I still don't think he's gonna be like buddy with Sam and Bucky now. Like, they clearly don't get along, so I kind of expect him to go do his own thing elsewhere.
Yeah, and honestly, I sort of expect his role to be reduced to all right, it's not KG Beast, that's DC. Who's the one from that showed up in Captain America 2? I'm totally blanking on the name of that one. And then at the beginning of 3 of Civil War, that blew up.
Crossbones?
Yes, Crossbones. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of expect U.S. Agent's role to be kind of reduced to that in the future, like showing up and maybe having an impact on something, but not really lasting for very long.
Yeah, which promo didn't. And with him, he could serve as a good, character to add in if they want to do a Thunderbolts or like a kind of a rogue, anti-hero team thing. I saw someone talk about that somewhere online. But I liked his journey from, like, we were all like, who the heck is that? With the shield, and who does he think he is being Captain America? And you see that he seemed like a humble guy, or he was portrayed as a humble guy, going into the role. But then you saw that whole, like, I'm Captain America, I have a lot of pressure on me, but I'm also have some scars from my previous conflicts with being a soldier. And also, like, he thought there's a lot of expected privilege that he had as Captain America, which came back to bite him as his kind of world started kind of crumbling apart, where people didn't want to respect him as such.
I had no issues with him at first, and then I quickly gained some issues. I was like, him murdering people by slamming his shield into them 100 times. I get, sometimes
you just gotta let that anger out. It's healthy.
Well, it's less that, and it's more like, I don't expect every superhero to have a philosophy of not ever killing anyone, right? Like, sometimes as a superhero, like, that's what you do, but not like that.
Hey, Batman's
and
never
also not
killed
in that situation.
Well, if we're
like,
talking,
the whole thing.
If we're talking MCU characters, they all have a body count.
Right, but like, I mean, the question, of course, should be asked whether or not it's justified. But like, like that was just a dude, right?
The only one
he was a super soldier that he killed, but it was just like, he was just a guy.
Yeah.
Like, you killed him in a really brutal way.
The only one I would think of that, at least to my knowledge, has... Well, I guess he sort of has a body count. Probably not much, though. Maybe not at all in terms of villains. Is Spider-Man. But I could be wrong about that. I could be overlooking some things.
Regardless, I guess the issue I have is less with... I feel like this shouldn't go on the internet, me saying, like, I have less of a problem with the killing. And more problem with, like...
Okay, Hannah.
It was...
I understand you.
I mean, it was done in anger, and it was more violent than it needed to be, and it wasn't remotely in self-defense.
No.
Right? It was literally just him lashing out. Right? Yeah. Like, if you kill someone in self-defense, that's one thing. Right? Like, even in like the real world, we have laws around like killing someone in self-defense, right? Like,
versus stopping, an actual threat or or during a conflict, which the Avengers have mostly been seen doing.
Right. So there are some, government approved ways of killing people, right? Times and places where we're like, okay, yeah, that's acceptable, makes sense, but that was not one of them.
Yeah.
No.
he overreacted for sure.
Yeah.
But that was a good tipping point for him of like
It was a huge tipping point.
Yep. You do not need this shield anymore.
Yeah.
I'm glad they took it from him, but I'm glad that he kind of lightened up at the end of like, oh, I was turning into the bad guy here. I'm definitely not cut for the role.
Yeah.
Well, again, like, he as I said, like it they make a point of it boosts or heightens your existing personality and everything. So like he clearly had some issues going into it. He was not as pure.
The idea
as, Steve.
That power doesn't change you, it just accentuates who you already were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sad though. I felt bad for him losing his friend, but
of course.
I did. That was rough. That was rough on him.
But it is, just sort of a reveal of like who you are at the core when something like that happens.
Yeah. Can you keep your cool? Can you do the right thing?
Yeah. On a little bit of a lighter note, I just need to get this in at some point before we're done. I am like so flippin' stoked that Captain America can fly now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we were talking about how, Sam's now Captain America and he doesn't have the super serum, so he's just still like a dude, right? Just a regular dude. But now also he can fly. And I'm like, that's so cool.
Yeah, like definitely, adding
definitely gives him an advantage.
Like the ability to fly with the shield and everything.
Yeah.
Of course, I thought the helicopter scene was particularly awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So you can actually lead the charge now instead of like starting out, then having everyone else like outrun him.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and he's been practicing with the wings for ages now, right? So he's very familiar with that aspect of the job.
And he had a training montage with the shield.
Yeah, good training montage. That was great.
Yeah.
Always love a training montage.
Everyone always gets better really quickly and perfects their art.
Yeah, they're like, it's been 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just 1 weekend, bro. I got this.
Just do a montage. It's great.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited to see kind of what they do with them and where things go from here.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of
course, I'm interested in seeing if they do anything. I'm sure they have to, right? With Sharon. I
know. I'm worried about that too.
I'm like, Sharon, why are you bad now?
Yeah. I don't remember if I've heard legitimate theories about this, but at least on the pitch meeting for that, they're like, is she Mephisto? It's like,
no, stop. Go home.
Yeah. No, I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah, I enjoyed her inclusion. I enjoyed Zemo. He was good. They used him just the right amount of Zemo in that.
I really liked Zemo's outfit, like his actual outfit, like from the comics.
Yeah, and I kind of felt his pain about super soldiers. It's like, oh yeah, you're not wrong. And I think Sam took that to heart too, which is probably one of the reasons why he didn't take the serum.
Which I think that we just need to take a moment and appreciate all of the villains in the MCU that are more complicated than they initially seem to be.
Yeah.
And who are like, you're not wrong, but you can't do it that way.
Yeah, they definitely had a villain problem for a while, but it's better now, I think.
So yes, these shows have been great, and they are giving us a tease about what's to come next in Phase 4 or future phases. Of course, WandaVision ended with her going through the dark hold and hearing her kids' names, and the makers of the show said that she's going to show up in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which is going to be really cool seeing them two play off each other. And then they said that Sam as Captain America is going to be in his own movie sometime soon. I don't know when or what phase, but that'll be awesome to see.
Yeah, they didn't. They showed the Phase 4 trailer just released, and I didn't see. As far as I recall, there was no mention of a new Captain America movie, so probably not in Phase 4. Although they may add it, I don't know.
It could be a Phase 4, Phase 5 thing. But it's going to be in the works or another season or the show.
You don't think that there's any way that they'll throw Captain America into it something else.
I mean, very likely. Very probably. It's going to be interesting to see how they do that with a lot of stuff because, of course, we have 2 movies that we've already gotten official trailers for. We've gotten like 4 for Black Widow because they just keep wanting to push out trailers while every time they push it back. And then we got, was it 1 or did we get 2 trailers already for Shang-Chi?
Only one.
Yeah. I probably just watched it multiple times.
That's probably it.
Yeah, and then we got a little sneak at like a couple quick shots from the Eternals, which I'm super excited about, and they've been talking about for a long time. I feel like it was initially going to be in. Was it initially going to be in Phase 3?
No,
or was it just initially going to be last year?
It was going to be last year. They're supposed to have Black Widow and Eternals last year.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm excited for that. Of course, we got dates for supposedly all the Phase 4 movies.
Supposed dates for the supposed movies.
Yeah, supposed dates. We also
supposed dates for future movies.
We knew the names of a lot of these previously, like Love and Thunder,
No Way Home,
Multiverse of Madness. We knew the names of a lot of them, and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That one was never really going to be questioned.
Very excited.
Well, we didn't know that they were going to call Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. I'm really excited to see that.
I'm very curious to see how they do it, considering that we don't. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I really kind of hope they don't do a Carrie Fisher and just like CG him in.
I'm pretty sure they've already said that they won't, and they won't replace him. Yeah. I'm thinking Shuri might take his place.
I mean,
but I don't really know.
That.
I don't really remember.
It was definitely in the works for her to succeed, but no one was expecting this soon. So I would like a story that, if they do that, that's fine. I'm cool with that. That's fine. But I hope they just do a story that kind of works, like from where they are.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can have some that's pieced together, because it's going to be hard to explain like where's the Black Panther, where's the king.
Right. Well, I think it's important that they're they make it cohesive but also respectful. Right. Oh. They don't just are like, oh, this is the same guy, but he just is always wearing the suit, so you can't see his face. Right. I feel like that's not a very tactful way to handle it.
Right. No. I need to watch the trailer again because I can't remember exactly what it's called. But they also gave an official title to the next Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Quantumania. Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember. It was such a weird name.
That sounds up my alley.
Yeah.
Give me the physics ones.
Throw quantum in front of everything.
And then, of course, at the very end, we got no official title, really. But at the very end, we got the Fantastic Four symbol. So hopefully that means they're going to try to fit that into Phase 4. It just seems super fitting, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
Yeah. So that'll be exciting.
I feel like I need to go watch it.
And also they also named I think Captain Marvel 2 is supposed to be called The Marvels.
Yes, that is another one they mentioned.
Yeah. So we got a lot to look forward to.
And we can actually start going to movie theaters again.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
Hurrah.
And we'll still have more Disney Plus shows. We have Loki, What If, and I think Miss Marvel coming out this year.
Yeah. It's gonna be good stuff.
Very exciting.
Yes.
Very exciting.
MCU is pumping out some good stuff. Go check it out. What are we doing next week?
Next week, we are talking sound design, my favorite topic. Yay!
I also enjoy sound design.
Yeah, I went to school for sound design. I did some in high school, and then I did a year of it in college. And then actually, when I was studying film, it was some sound design for post-production classes.
I just play a lot of video games and watch other people play a lot of video games and have been learning. I'm like, oh, I see. I like. to both
So
sound
basically,
design and
same levels.
yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I'll bring my own expertise. You can bring like whatever crap you learn in college.
It's just college is not really that official.
No.
I'm kind of like in the background here. I'm pretty sure I have an idea of what you guys are like, how you guys will talk about sound design, because I'm sure it's not the same as like soundtrack. But I'm sure involves like soundtrack and what do you call it?
We're gonna get into that next time.
And I just want to talk about in Breath of the Wild when you first wake up and you're Link and he's barefoot and he makes like slappy foot sounds on the wet floor, and I'm like, yes, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
slappy foot sounds.
So we'll have fun. We'll learn some things. But yes, thanks for watching, listening mostly. But until next week or next time, nerd out.
Nerd out.